I was born in a small town, Joaquin, Texas, and that's population 500. That's small. We lived right next door in a way, we across the fence from a white family, and we played with those children. But that was the only integration that was really going on there. And I recall vividly walking to the movies with these children. And then we would separate, and they would go downstairs and we would go upstairs. And then we'd meet after the movie and go home together. But in terms of going to school together, no. Or church, no. I actually remember very early thinking it wasn't fair. But I understood the rules. And I knew that the park that was very near our home, we couldn't go. I didn't understand why. And my parents were very caring, very loving, and they would never tell us why. They would just say, you can be anything you want to be, and you can do anything you want to do as long as you get a good education, you're willing to work hard, and never addressed discrimination. I went to Spelman at age 16. But I turned 17 in January. And February is when the North Carolina students had the sit-in at the lunch counter at Woolworth's. And I still wasn't clear that it was going to affect me directly, but we were all excited to see that students were protesting because we were inspired by Dr. Martin Luther King, who had the successful Montgomery bus boycott. And so there was a mass meeting over at the Atlanta University Library. And then after that meeting, everyone headed downtown, and we were included in that group. I didn't know what would face us, because in other cities there had been violence. It was a movement whose time had come, and you sensed it. You knew it. It was the first time I'd ever had a chance to say, I don't like this system needs to go, and just to protest. Dr. King was supportive of our movement, and we knew this. And at one of the marches at Rich's department store, he participated. He joined that march. And of course, he got arrested. And when he was arrested, it was during the time that John F. Kennedy was running for the presidency of the United States. And Mrs. King called to ask for help because they were afraid that Dr. King would be abused in jail when Mr. Kennedy, I guess he was a senator at that time, called and asked that Dr. King be released. That swayed the black community to support him, and many credit that act as the impetus that got him elected, the black vote. There were people of goodwill of many races who supported that movement, and that it should be a united front, a coalition of people of goodwill, because that is what I think helped to bring the successes that we had. Since then, that movement and being involved in that movement has emboldened me to choose law as a profession. I was so impressed by the lawyers that helped get the students out of jail, and felt that this was a way that I could contribute to society and make things better for all people. So I really attribute my going into law and being a judge, it stems back from that time.